Yay Media Group.
Hey guys, it's Stephanie.
I'm Trey.
This is your weekly dose of BS.
Okay, I have an embryo update for you.
Okay.
And it's not one that I was expecting, I guess. So we had 11 eggs from our egg retrieval that happened...
The 11/11.
Yes, like 2.5 weeks ago. We received, there was a total of 21 eggs. We received 11. Last week when I was in Vegas, we got an update that 10 of those eggs were healthy enough to fertilize, I guess. And of those 10, only 2 of them were healthy enough to test. I thought this was really weird. I was expecting like 5 to 7.
Okay.
So that to me sounded like a low number. So I posted this video on TikTok and all these people were like, no, that's pretty normal. And I was like, okay. But then we kind of like only have 2 shots at like this working. So then we sent our embryos off to PGT testing, which is basically where they test like to check. They do a small biopsy of the embryo and figure out what the sex of the baby is and kind of a bunch of different physical characteristics we can figure out from that. They also figure out like what the viability of the embryo taking is and all that stuff, whether it'll be a healthy baby, XYZ. So I got a call, when was it? Friday. And it was from one of the nurses and they said, hey, we have your PGT results. And I was like, that's really early because they told us it takes like 2 to 3 weeks. And I was kind of fighting her on it because she was like, oh, the doctor's like available now. And I was like, yeah, I'll talk to her now. And then she's like, oh, actually she's not. And I was like, oh, okay. And she's like, she can talk to you Monday at 11. So I have to go do that after this. And I was like, well, just send me my results. And like, I can go over with her on Monday. And she's like, And I was like, hey, I paid for them. Like, send me my results. I want to see it. And then she's like, well, we found out that both of our embryos are, I forget the word, it starts with an A. Basically, neither one is viable or has a high likelihood of turning into a live birth. They are both missing I do know that one is a boy and one is a girl.
Okay.
But they have a 90% miscarry likelihood.
Oh, gosh.
Right.
They can tell all of that.
From that
Just testing. Wow.
Which, obviously, huge bummer for my husband and I. But on the other side, glad that we didn't then put our surrogate through the process to only find out that, or put her at risk or whatever. But I was just kind of like, okay, now what? Like, we have spent, not even kidding, $100,000 this year on this process, and now we have nothing to show for it.
For those of you who have been listening to the podcast for a long time, I've said this before, but my husband has a sister who had to go through kind of the same process as you. And I know that I don't know anything about this, really. I just know her journey. And I will say it took her a few years. And I know that her surrogate miscarried quite a few times, which makes me believe that they did have. So that's why I was like, wait. And I know that she is like well over $500,000 into, and now she has twins and, she has a full, she has multiple children. She's, her babies are doing great, but I know it was very expensive. And I know it was very emotional because you get so excited. And then for her, and I know that's not everybody's journey. Some people just really get lucky. And, but it's crazy. I was talking to Travis. I was like, it's crazy that there's no guarantees. And I guess that's the way the world is. But Travis was like, somebody should really make some money off of this thing and be like, here, $100,000 and I guarantee you.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of people making a lot of money off these. And when I go back and I was looking at, okay, what would it cost us to like redo this? And I would say probably $50,000 of what we spent was like agency fees. Mind you, this has nothing to do with our like surrogate yet. This is just like all these different this isn't even procedures. This is just like different random things that not even, and it was interesting because some of the people that like third-party groups that had reached out to us via our clinic were like, hey, this is not required by law. This is just like required by your clinic and it's $500. And we're like, okay, I guess so. So there's just it feels like there's a lot of
nickel and diming.
Yeah, it's almost like financial, emotional abuse, like mixed into one.
Yeah.
Because once you start, you can't stop. And yeah, like.
Well, because at $100,000, you're kind of in so deep where it's like, okay, well, let's just what's 50,000?
This is what I think actually really bugs me. And I haven't talked about this previously, but every time they would call me and the call would go like this. It's like, hey, we're about to process, what's your credit card number? And I'm like, okay, well, how much is that? And they're like, oh, it's $22,000. Oh, well, you weren't going to like say that?
Oh my gosh.
So, right. Like but the way it was just like, you should have that. What is it? And then like, if you don't have it, we have financing options. And they would always push the financing options. Uh-huh. And so that's kind of what I've been thinking about a lot this past weekend is we paid for all of this cash by the grace of God. But there are a lot of people that don't. And they drive themselves into hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt and then have nothing to show for it at the end.
It's insane.
It is insane. It really is crazy. So this all happened over the weekend. It's Monday morning right now when we're recording this. So I am a problem solver. My head goes to like, how can we fix this? How can we stay on track? And I've already had to do that once or twice during this process, and I'm going to do it again.
Because you said if you take time off, then you're risking, having a surrogate.
We've got 2 plates over here. We have one that was, well, there were really 3, I guess, that we've boiled down to 2. Because we had the egg donor and all that stuff, and then we had the surrogate stuff with the fertility treatment. Then we have the surrogate by herself. So we already have a surrogate that is medically cleared, that is on medications, expecting to receive a baby in January or February. So we've got that side already handled, and we have a surrogate lined up ready to go. Now I need embryos, and I will figure this out. But let me just tell you this real quick. If I have not already told you this information, and this is the first time you were hearing this, do not text me. Do not text my husband. We are both like processing this. We just don't want to, if we're not talking to you about it, we don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I'm saying this as like my PSA to the world of like, here's my Facebook update for what's happening. But like, we are very much like navigating this. And my husband and I are very different in the way that we, I guess, process things. Uh-huh. I found this out when he was out Black Friday shopping with his sister and niece and nephew. And I was like, okay, I can't tell Zach this right now because I know this is going to ruin my day. I know it's going to ruin his day. And so I was texting our surrogate and telling her, and she had a great idea. She was like, what about an embryo adoption? And I was like, you're a genius. Yeah. And this is something that I've told Stephanie, that when it came to baby number 2, if Zach and I still had a healthy embryo of the opposite sex frozen somewhere, I would want to use that before I went and created my own. For me, sharing genetics with my child is not important. I just want a happy, healthy baby.
Yeah.
Like that's what's important to me. So when we started this fertility journey, I was all for like, Zach, you go first. Like, see what this is. Because at first we talked about like, do we spin it and just like, eventually we'd find out who it is. Or do we not? And I was like, no, like I'm totally good with this being you first. But now I'm just in like problem solving mode. Mm-hmm. So anyone listening to this that I haven't already told you, we'll tell you when we know something. But like right now, this is your update.
And that would probably be a lot less expensive too if you did do the embryo adoption.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, with the embryo adoption, the hurdle that I found is there's some really great organizations that run embryo adoption. One of the biggest ones, I need to figure out if they will adopt to same-sex couples.
Yeah.
And I've seen mixed reviews. With that, we'd still have to go through like a home study, which is like 2 to 3 months. So it's possible, but I'm more just like, it's crazy that it feels like we just wasted.
Yeah.
Like we spent this whole year on this and we have nothing to show for it.
That's tough.
And I know this is not like an isolated issue. I know that a lot of people go through this and they spend all this money and nothing happens. Well,
yeah,
it's just crazy how expensive and how inaccessible it is to have a child or to bring a life into this world when you want to bring a life into this world.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the crazy thing is a lot of women can't have, babies, or a lot of families. But I mean, I was able to, get pregnant, but a lot of people can't. And I mean, not a lot of people have $100,000 just to.
No, I was surprised that I did.
Yeah.
I was like, how do we pay for that? But we did.
That's so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like your baby's out there, something's going to happen, but I'm sorry. That's crazy. Like I said, we have a family member who's gone through it, but they live in a different state and it was just kind of a little far away, So I really didn't realize all the stuff that went into it as well.
It's hard when you feel like you're this close to like your dream and then it just like vanishes.
Yeah.
And I called Stephanie the other day and I was talking to her about this and Travis gave me the worst advice I think he's ever given me.
Travis is in the background saying, "Do you want to know? You want my advice?" I said, "Trey."
And I said, if he's going to tell me to stick it in a cooter, I'm going to hang up. And he was like, "I think right now you should just like enjoy life." And I was like, "No, bye."
He said, "You're
no
young."
Thanks. It's like, I think you should just live your life. No.
He said, "You're young." What did he say? You're young. You
said you're young. You're hot. You're thin. You're rich.
Yeah, just enjoy your life.
He said one of those things.
Yeah, all the things. He said, enjoy your life, and then you have so much time before you want to have a baby.
No.
And then Trey was like, Travis also is like, we're 10 years apart, so I was kind of at the age that you're wanting to be. Whenever I think I had Cruz at 29 and Chance at 31. I thought those were perfect ages to have kids. And but Travis was, 10 years older, so he was 39 and 41. And I will say, even him, with a third, because we thought about trying to have a girl, and he was like, kind of gave me a we're now or never type thing, because he was like, I just feel like I'm getting too old to be a dad. So I don't know. I liked being a young mom. Also, I like the fact that Chance is going to be graduating in a few years, and I still feel like I am in the prime of my life. Especially with my Caroline Gervin work. I feel like I'm in the prime of my life. And so I get it. I feel like there's something nice.
For me, like, this has always been my plan. Like, when I was 23 and I opened Mr. Mister, I like told myself, okay, we are going to set ourselves up to where we're building this now so that we can have stability, to where we can have kids, and we already have all the business stuff, like the foundation laid, to where then we can add kids on top of an already solid foundation. So like, this has been my plan. This isn't just like Trey wants a baby. It's like, this has always been the 10-year plan. And we're at the end of the 10-year plan. Now I'm almost 30. So
here we are. Yeah. Oh, I'm excited to see what happens.
I am too. And I'm going to figure it out.
Well,
and
Zach
it's going to be great.
is a lot like me. Like, you're like Travis. Like, Travis, whenever things get hard, we were talking the other day, and I feel like when things get hard, he like puts his head down and works, right?
Yes.
Like, I set and spin on things, and I have to emotionally come to terms with them. And I'm like, we have a different process. I think both are maybe unhealthy in their own way. Because I was telling Travis, for me, I think I set and ruminate on everything. Is that what you say? Ruminate on everything. And he almost like doesn't deal with things. Like, he's just like, I'm just gonna figure it out and keep going. And so
I'm very much, I will control the controllables. I cannot make these embryos that we already have be any better. So I'm going to figure out what I can do to make, because truthfully, what I really don't want to have happen is I don't want my husband to get discouraged and want to pause this process.
Yeah.
Because like, we are so close. I don't want that to deter our overall family goals. So I'm like, I have to find a solution before I bring him the problem.
Well, I think the way to do that is to come up with all the financial stuff on everything. Like, these are our 3 options.
Yeah. I mean, because we could do IVF again, but then if we spend another $100,000 and we don't have embryos again, then what? It's like, you know.
That's a lot.
So,
yes.
I don't know. We're going to dinner tonight. We're going to talk about it.
Well, this was kind of a depressing update.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Happy Thanksgiving. You know, it is almost, you know, we're now in Christmas season. I have my Target, my only Christmas sweatshirt, and it's very cozy. And this was from last year, but if they have it, it's this Joy Blue sweatshirt. Highly recommend.
Thank you for gracing us with that.
Yep, Target.com. Okay, thank you guys so much for listening and supporting. You can follow me at Steph Hollman on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
You can follow me at Trey_Stewart. You can follow our podcast at BS the Podcast. You can watch us on YouTube at Weekly Dose of BS. Bye.